Pisces, welcome to your May 2023 Tarot Scope reading. The decks that I'm using this time around are the Prisma Visions Tarot deck, as well as the Woodland Wardens Oracle cards. And I'll put a link in the description below the video in case anyone's interested in using these cards for themselves. Okay, so if I'm looking at the spread from like a high level, the entire spread together, it really seems like there's a relationship of some type that has ended or is impending, imploding. But at the end of the day, this represents a victory for you. It's a positive thing, and you kind of find yourself at the end of it, which I like to see. So, okay, let's go individually here. The Six of Cups, the Six of Chalices in this deck. This is where you currently find yourself. And this represents longing for the past, a longing for how things used to be, like nostalgia, events in the past. So it seems like while the relationship has ended, there's a sense of like longing for that state again. What is the foundation of that is the Death card, which represents like endings, transformations, new beginnings. And it's right next to the Lovers card. So this could be a love relationship, but it doesn't have to be that. It could be another type of relationship. Sometimes even business partnerships are represented in the Lovers card. So because these two things are together and the Lovers is in the position of what's moving out of your life, it really suggests to me that like some type of relationship has ended and there's a longing for the past about that. However, there's new things moving in here. The advice from the higher self or source is the Six of Wands, and this card represents victory over obstacles. So this was an obstacle, and the fact that it's ended represents a victory, even though you might not see it as that at the moment. The higher self is saying like this is actually a good thing. There is cards here that suggest that you might not want to see it that way at the moment because you have the Seven of Pentacles in the blockage position. And this is a card about, really it's a card of hope because here she's planting coins in her garden. And there's that saying like to plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow. And when you have energy like the Death card, it's really hard to have that hopeful energy about the future. So the Seven of Pentacles in a blockage position kind of suggests that you're like really not doing anything to further yourself in the future. Like you might be stuck in a mindset of like things are not great right now, things are bad, they're not going to get any better. I see that they will. And I see that like this is actually a benefit to you. The person in the other half of said relationship could have been an earth sign, so that would be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, because you have the Knight of Pentacles in the fears and hopes position. This really suggests that while you hope for maybe a reconciliation with this person, there's also a fear of like, deep down, I think you knew that the situation wasn't benefiting you. Maybe a little bit unwilling to see it like that, but I think because fear is like part of your subconscious self. So if your subconscious self already knows that that person wasn't a good fit or the situation wasn't a good fit, like deep down you already know that. It's getting your higher self or your conscious self to kind of look at it that way. What you have moving in right now is the Two of Pentacles. And the Two of Pentacles is actually a really good card. It talks about opportunity. And while sometimes it's hard to move forward with like tangible opportunities, like maybe a job offer, while you have some emotional turmoil happening, your focus, it's suggesting that your focus should be more on this. This is more important, rather than like this or this. This is opportunities to move forward, and this is like being stuck in the past. Even your caution card, so this is advice from the higher self, and this opposite corner card is the caution card. The Four of Cups is the card of apathy and indifference. So something good's coming in for you, some kind of opportunity. The caution is like, don't look at things with indifference. Don't allow this situation to take away your hope for the future, or your path for the future. Indifference and apathy is not a good energy to be sitting in. And there's the potential to miss out on really good opportunities because you're sitting in kind of a stubborn, apathetic mindset. Okay, so I usually wait to the end to do the oracle card, but it's really drawing me in, so I'm gonna do that one next. You have the Hound and the Pair, and the card message is loyalty. I don't know if that's very clear. It looks clear in the camera, but it says loyalty if you can't see it properly. And potentially that could have been the cause for this relationship ending, is that there may be a question of loyalty. If it's a job, that also could have been a question of loyalty. So the Hound, like spiritual symbolism, like dogs, let's say. Hound is like a very proper term to use, but dogs, they're loyal, they're dependable, they show devotion, they show bravery. And maybe that was an element that was missing here that you now have the opportunity to find through other avenues that you weren't getting here. Also, loyalty can refer to like loyalty to oneself. Like if you gave up on opportunities that are good for you because you're like, for lack of a better term, sulking over this energy, that's a disloyalty to oneself and one's path, right? So the Hound is here to remind you that, like, regardless of other people's actions or what other people are doing, you are kind of beholden to yourself. Like, you need to further your goals. You need to take action on your future, which is what's not happening in the Seven of Pentacles. I like that your outcome card, which is like a loose term, is the Knight of Chalices, because this is the Pisces energy. I like that it's you in the outcome, because it's like almost like saying there's an aha moment somewhere in here where you kind of find yourself and you recognize, okay, yes, like I deserve loyalty. I deserve more than what I was getting from this person or situation. There is a victory with that realization. Pairs, I had to research the meaning of pairs, and they actually mean prosperity. So that's kind of what I see this Two of Pentacles representing, is like opportunities for prosperity, but it's saying don't skip out on it because you have like emotional stuff to deal with. Because this is better than this. And your last card here is the Ten of Wands, which is like what is surrounding the past. And I feel like you have a lot more stability than what you might think that you have, because when you have the Death card show up in a spread, that's a lot of upheaval energy, but it can lead to a feeling of instability, sometimes a false feeling of instability. With the hopelessness energy. But the Ten of Wands is saying, actually though, that's not entirely accurate. So it's maybe asking you to examine like where your thoughts may not be true to reality, or what part of your thoughts is creating like a limiting belief of instability that isn't there. Even the Two of Pentacles, He's juggling 2 pentacles. Do you know how hard it is to juggle things? You need an incredible amount of balance and stability to juggle something. I just don't have the hand-eye coordination to be able to do any kind of juggling. But you need stability in order to do that. And he's sitting on a wall, which is pretty stable. It was actually recently rebuilt. If you look at all the Pentacles cards in order, it tells a story. So this is like a newly built wall. It's pretty stable. So the fact that that energy is sitting there is like, yeah, you got stability. You just maybe aren't seeing it that way. So there has to be some sort of release of the past in order to see what actually you have in reality in the present. Because if you're sitting in the past, you can't really see what you have, and that leads to this. We don't want that. We want this. So things to consider. Okay, Pisces, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this reading was of value to you. Check the description below the video for links to the decks and also for more information on how to get a private reading. Otherwise, thank you again and have a great rest of your month. Take care.